Welcome everyone to the stream. I have just dropped my car off to get repairs done to it, and Kathy's not up yet, so I'm walking it, and I thought, well, I got a bit of a walk, why not do a live stream? So I know, huh? Let me get by the sounds of the car wash here so that you can hear me better. But what I'm going to be talking about here in the stream is, of course, the biggest presidential scandal in the history of the American presidency, the Biden DocuGate. And, you know, not only is this the largest, biggest, most severe scandal in the history of the presidency of the United States, it's also quite possibly the biggest spy ring in the history of the United States, because, you know, taking classified documents like Joe has been doing at the level that he did when he was vice president, let me know in the chat, does that sound like something someone just did on a whim, or is it something, because this is something people haven't really considered too much, is this something that, well, he's been doing for decades? After all, he's been in Washington for 50 years. So I don't think this is something that someone just does on a whim. Okay, my term as vice president is over. Let me take a bunch of these documents. That sounds like something to me that's kind of like a lifetime thing. Wouldn't you guys think? You let me know in the chat. Yes or no? Do you think taking these documents, all the ones we're talking about, right? The ones in the garage, the ones at the fake think tank, the ones in his office, do you think this is the first time Biden has taken classified documents? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. I would say no. Usually what happens with criminals is I'm not a criminal, but what criminals do is build up, right? They build up to bigger crimes. They get away with it, they escalate. So people haven't even gotten into that discussion yet. And I don't know if they will, and I don't think it's premature, because I'm curious, because he was a senior United States senator. I'm really curious to the type of documents and classified intel he had access to when he was in the Senate. Yeah, so I think that this is probably something that he's been doing for 40 or more years. You know, information is money. That's what Wall Street was all about. Information is money to these people. Got to switch arms. First time he got caught. Yeah, that's exactly right. First time he got caught. That's exactly right. Welcome. As a fan, Terry, make sure you use all those emojis. When you are a member of the channel, you get your name in green and you get the cool emojis. Well, members of Congress have access to all kinds of material. So, a little morning stroll here. on a very busy road on a wonderful morning in Ron DeSantis' free Florida. That's right. He's blaming it on his staff. The staff are not going to take the heat for this, because if you're in his staff, do you want to take the blame for something that could land you in prison for the rest of your life? I mean, these are hardcore crimes that he's done. So, what do we know so far about this particular scandal, these documents? We know quite a bit, right? So, one of his attorneys, the lady lawyer, she was White House counsel to Biden. She also worked for Obama in the White House when he was president. She resigned from her job as White House counsel and immediately went to work at this big time DC law firm so she could be Biden's personal attorney. And she went on this search mission for classified documents. And boom, she found them in the closet. And I think she left her job as White House counsel very specifically for this. Now the question is, why? Why? Are they trying to help Biden? Or not? I don't think they're trying to help Biden. I think Obama's behind the whole operation to bring Joe down. That's my opinion. Now, they found the documents, and what did they do? What did they do? They called the archivist and the White House, probably in the reverse order. And then the archivist called in the FBI, called the Justice Department. Okay? So, well, this is kind of a dark day in a Florida morning. The sun hasn't quite come up yet. There's some clouds out. This is a Florida winter. But they didn't call the Justice Department. The archivist did when they realized how bad it was. Right? So that was step one. Step two, the lawyers were allowed to go to Biden's house and search on their own. Right? Imagine that. They were allowed to go to Biden's house on their own and do the search. Not like Mar-a-Lago, they didn't send the agents in, they didn't send investigators in, they didn't send the archivist in. They allowed Biden's own legal team to do it. Come on. They found the ones in the garage. And then in that press conference, Biden was taking questions, and Ducey asked him a question about the document. What were you thinking about the garage? And this was in his Corvette, next to my Corvette, you know, the sleazeball that he is. All right. Crossing a busy street, guys. Hold on. Crossing a very busy street, actually. I don't normally take morning strolls like this. I'm just up close because I don't need everybody to see what the street names are that I'm crossing. Okay. So, he's in this press conference. I know, busy streets I'm crossing. I don't normally walk these streets. So, in the press conference after the document story of the documents being in the garage breaks, Biden slipped and mentioned that there were more documents we didn't know about in his home office, his home study, and library. So then the lawyers, still the feds, don't come into the house. They go into the library, study, office. If it's all the same, I don't know. That's right, I'm street walking MAGA. By the way, this is a Let's Go Brandon hat. Someone sent me this hat. Says Let's Go Brandon on the back. So Biden screwed up and mentioned these other documents. All right, crossing a busy street. Hold on, up close, guys. I don't want you to see the street name, but I'll keep talking. And when they went in there, they got those documents, and then the next day, they found 5 or 6 more documents. Right? So we've got at least 3 stashes of highly classified documents. We also know that these documents are of the highest level of classification that exists, which is really amazing. When you think, I mean, how's that happen? So now we've got the story circulating for a couple of days of, you know, all the different documents found here, found there. Of course, they're not secure, you know. So now what do we find out? Well, I had 2 breaking news stories yesterday. One on the radio and then one on my podcast last night, which you should go and watch and listen to both because I get into details on everything I'm talking about. What I'm doing now is just the Cliff Notes summary of where we are, what we know right now. So, we find out yesterday that there's this woman named Kathy Chung. We don't know anything about her. Pictures of her cannot be found. She has a Chinese last name. That she was a top assistant to Joe Biden when he was vice president at the vice president's office at the Senate. Hunter got her the job, and she had passed along thousands of highly classified documents to Hunter that he walked out with. And the documents that Hunter took out included the private cell phone numbers of almost the entire Barack Obama cabinet, while Obama was president, mind you. President Clinton's cell phone number, Hillary Clinton's cell phone number while she was Secretary of State, Nancy Pelosi's cell phone number, and a whole bunch of other very big people, including the cell phone number of Louis Freeh, who was FBI director. She also gave Hunter classified information on Secret Service agents. And this is important because once they have a cell phone number, the CCP can get right in that cell phone, get all the data out of it, and of course get everyone's data to get into their home computers probably too. But also, once they have that, they've got a listening device in the room of whatever person that is in. Even if you think your cell phone is off, once the CCP are in your phone with your phone number, your private cell phone number, even if you think your phone is off, they can listen in on you and monitor you and maybe even see you. Which not only gives them spy intel, right? Intelligence information, it gives them blackmail, because God only knows what those cameras on their phones would see. So the CCP not only have a whole bunch of listening devices and private information and bugs and all this stuff, they also got a treasure trove of blackmail material on all of these people, because not only are their private conversations heard, but they can get live video from the cell phones of all of these people. Hunter got Kathy Chung the job working at the vice president's office. And I think she was working at the vice president's office. Yeah, she's the Fang, that's right. I think she was working at the vice president's office at the Senate building because there's more lax security on such things. See, Florida palm trees, people. Than at the White House. She gave them to Hunter, I believe, because Hunter can walk out of the building without being searched. Anyone else would be searched, okay? So, you know, we are in a whole new era, but that's not all we know. So that was the first breaking story yesterday. The second story that I got, and again, all these stories I've gotten into in extreme detail on my podcast and on the radio show this week, okay? this Kathy Chung Feng story, I broke that down in extreme detail on the radio show yesterday. The next one I got into a lot of detail on last night's podcast, so you can check that out too. Okay, now this is the new one. So we found out about this story. When I mean the public, 68 days after the first batch of classified documents were found at the fake think tank that took $60 to $70 million from the CCP. 68 days. So, what we found out last night is that a tight-knit team of about a dozen Biden insiders, which included Joe and Jill, but was led by Joe Biden's sister, with attorneys that work at the White House, spent 68 days not only covering up the classified documents and their scandal, but was trying to work out a way for the story to go away. So what they were involved in was a massive cover-up of the crime, the documents being found, the documents being taken, a mass cover-up. And remember, Biden's sister was in charge of the operation. They were involved in an obstruction of justice operation. An obstruction of justice operation. And, yeah, because they were trying to find a way to get away with it. Massive cover-up. And that in itself is a crime all on its own. So here we are, and these stories are coming out. People are getting to the stories. I think I'm 1 to 2 weeks ahead on all of these stories. But the stories are just basically getting out there, and there really hasn't been a lot of processing on what all this means, right? And what the future holds on all of them. So, pretty severe stuff going on here. I mean, this is not only hardcore crimes, it's a hardcore crime involving a whole bunch of people, quite possibly China, right? There's the Kathy Chung, connection. We don't know anything about her. The photographs have been scrubbed from the internet, and this web of a cover-up and obstruction of justice conspiracy that involves a lot of people, including Biden's sister. His sister's run all of his campaigns, all the way back to the early Senate campaigns, through the presidency. So, this is big. Bigger than anything we've ever seen before. And if he were a Republican, the whole country would be shut down right now. I mean, the only reason this hasn't totally taken over everything is because he gets a little bit of immunity from the press. Even on something so severe, well, I don't know about a little bit, quite a bit of immunity in my mind, because he's a Democrat. So that's where we are right now. And, at the beginning of the stream, I was asking the question, do you think this is the first time he did this? I would say no. And, a lot of people, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but why did Obama pick Biden, of all people, to be his vice president? Well, a lot of people don't know how it came to be for Obama to run for president and be the Democrat nominee. How did Obama take this away from Hillary? Because this was, the Obama presidency was supposed to be Hillary Clinton, right? Well, what happened, Harry Reid, who was the Democrat Senate leader, approached Obama to run and got behind him, which seems kind of a bizarre thing. Not many people go from the Senate to the presidency. It happens. There's some exceptions to the rule, President Kennedy and some, but it doesn't happen very often. So that's how Joe ended up there, because he was buddies with Harry Reid, who's as corrupt as you can get. I mean, he was senator from a place where prostitution's legal. So my guess is that this selling of secrets is something that Joe Biden's been doing for decades. This is not the first time, just the first time he got caught. You know? Let me switch arms here. My arm's getting tired. I got a coffee in one hand. And I'm streaming in the other. Sounds like an Alanis Morissette song, doesn't it? I've got one hand with a coffee, and the other one's live streaming. I know, I'm not going to sing. But here we are. A stream stick? I do. I have my phone on a stick that I'm walking with. Oh boy, I know. I mean, that's where we are right now. That's what we know. And every time there's a new development, it's worse. Yeah. Oh man. And you know, I know you'll see people in the chat room and around that will say, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to become of this. That is not true. Everything that we know is being leaked out by the Democrats. I believe Obama. So he's got the Democrats after him. So a lot is happening. Out cruising the streets. Yeah, I'm walking by all the morning joggers. You know, not me. Walking's enough. Plus, I'm wearing jeans because I wasn't planning on walking. I'm walking because it just happened to be that way. He'll have to resign? Oh, yeah. Well, you know, what I did here in this stream is just a very, very brief bullet point summary of what we know, right? If you go watch my videos and podcasts and everything from this week, you'll get all the really big details. But the new developments have indicted a lot of people. This 68-day obstruction of justice cover-up, trying to hide this story for 68 days, try to get it to go away, try to stop the Justice Department from interfering, from prosecuting, from investigating. The people in that team are named, not just Biden's sister. I went through it all on my podcast last night. These people are facing 25 years to life. This is a espionage operation. I mean, this Kathy Chung with Hunter, that's a spy ring. So the new developments are involving other people that don't have the immunity of being a president. Biden's not going to get prosecuted. Like I say, the only president that'll ever be charged with a crime is Donald Trump by these corrupt, deep stater establishment people, okay? I'll have to call Steve back after the stream. But this is just an area we've never been in before, but these new developments have all involved other people that don't have that protection that he has. You know? So that's where the pressure will come to get him to resign. When you find out that his son, all of his lawyers, that his sister, probably his brother, I don't know, that they're involved in this, they're facing prosecution, that's when he'll cave to resign, which he won't want to do. I mean, you know, he feels invincible. He's been doing crime his whole life, and he's gotten away with it, right? He's never had any consequences. So this guy thinks he's invincible, on top of the fact that he doesn't think he did anything wrong because he's criminally insane. He's been doing crime so long, he doesn't know another way. He actually does not believe what he's done is criminal. Let me switch arms again. This is a long walk. I don't know how far I've walked. This is the longest walk I've taken since, well, Last time I was at Walt Disney World, I guess. Joe will pardon Hunter. Well, don't be so sure about that. Now, he may work out a deal where these people don't get prosecuted, but if you are a crime boss, even with the powers of the presidency, can you pardon your co-conspirators in your crime? You know, Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon, but Gerald Ford had nothing to do with Watergate on the surface. He was, he was a deep stater behind a lot of it, but you understand what I mean? He wasn't like directly connected to that. I've never run out of gas, actually. Come close to it on my scooter once or twice. But yeah, please subscribe if you're new to my channel. Everyone like the video. And, of course, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout and buy all kinds of cool MyPillow products. You know, the MyPillow slippers, $90 off with my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And, of course, the best product of all, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. You guys hear me talk about it a lot because it's so spectacular. 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. But you can take advantage, you can call that phone number there too. Thanks from Wisconsin. You can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, not just the ones that I talk about, but I share what I think are like the must-haves and my favorites and the best deals. Hey, David. Welcome from Louisville. But yeah, and if you've missed my podcast and radio show and streams this week, you really should go back and watch them all from the beginning of the week all the way up to this one, because these things that I just briefly summarized are very well sourced, and I get into them in a lot of detail, and they're definitely things you want to go back and review and know, because we gotta let people know what's going on. The mainstream media, they seem like they're coming after Biden and everything, but they're just trying to get viral moments, and then they do stories bragging about how great their moment was on camera, and then rerun it 12 times, and it's, as opposed to getting into the scandal. All these reporters will tell you that they dream of being Woodward and Bernstein. I don't know what the temperature is right now. It's very warm. This walk was quite by accident. If I knew I was going to be walking it, I would be wearing shorts. It's definitely shorts weather. Everyone else walking around here is in shorts and t-shirts. I'm in jeans and a t-shirt, because I had no intention on walking. Well, usually what I would do, I drop my car off. Usually what I would do is I have a small electric scooter, and I'll put it in the trunk or the back seat and ride that home instead of walk, but I forgot to put it in the car. I wasn't sure I was going to have to leave the car there for a couple of hours, so that's how that happened. Well, listen, guys, I am going to say goodbye, but make sure you subscribe if you are new, and everyone, please like the video. Only a few of you in the live chat have liked the video. If you're watching later, make sure you like the video and subscribe as well. All right, my name's Brian. This is a Let's Go Brandon hat. I can't wear my MAGA hat when I go certain places, so I had to go on a little bit of, it says Let's Go Brandon on the back. I don't want, I'll show you. Hey. I've got bedhead, so let's go Brandon. I've been putting off getting a haircut because I want to get it at the last moment I possibly can for the cruise. So my hair is like sticking way up. But make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian Craig. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.